Yeah, thank you. So Jarett, maybe you can talk a little bit about the timing here in our region, the timing when this plant needs to be planted to avoid that weed pressure that Jeff brought up, and sort of what's some best practices to ensure success as far as the initial onset.
Sure. Yeah. Those growers that planted this past year in our region now, like Jeff mentioned, he might have a much later planting than we do here because we're further south on that latitude. But the ideal planting for us here is really in that beginning first 2 weeks of May and no later for the varieties that we're talking here with fiber and grain varieties, because we want that canopy to start growing and overtake any sort of weeds that would be coming up. That's really why we want to get it in there. Even, I mean, looking at the radar and the moisture levels, that always comes into play as well, because as everyone knows who grew around here last year, we had 7 weeks of drought. So if you didn't get your crop planted by, say, like the 15th or the 20th of May this past year, you went for 7 weeks and without water or without rain. So that was a huge issue in our region. So obviously always looking at the forecast, 10 days, always important. But really that first few weeks of May is really important to get in the ground.